Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video, and today we're up here at the camp. We got to do a few chores, get a few things done, but if I can get everything done, we're going to head down the swamp and we're going to do a little bit of brim fishing this afternoon. A lot of this pine straw accumulated over the last few months, so I'm just going to use a leaf blower. We're going to blow it all out. And then at the bottom, there's a lot of mud under the carport, just nasty gunk. So I want to go ahead, take a power washer, and just give this a really quick spray and just get some of this out of here. Finally done, and I am absolutely disgusting. I've got mud all over my jeans, all over my shoes. Basically picked up half of this driveway with me, but super clean. All this mud you see on top has just been knocked off, so the next time it rains, that water's going to come rushing down this driveway, come down here, and it's going to knock all this mud off. But these electric power washers have really come a long way, and the best part was not spending 45 minutes trying to crank it. Now that the driveway's all the way done, all I gotta do now is set some corn out. I'm gonna throw a camera out. Just go ahead, get these deer feeding a little bit, and then I'm going to enjoy this afternoon, and we're finally gonna get to do some brim fishing. The sky's getting pretty angry. We got some wind stirring up and it looks like a thunderstorm's about to run on through, but I followed them down here to help them with a tree stand real quick, or a stand in general for this field. Getting a new one up because this one's absolutely shot, so I'm excited to be hunting this one this year. But I'm gonna go ahead, hop in the truck, and get out of here before it gets real bad. I have no service on my phone, but somehow this is working. And as you can see, there's just rain absolutely everywhere. So what I'm probably gonna have to do is just go back to the house and wait for a little bit. Earlier today, there's just a few scattered showers, and now it's turned into all of this mess. This rain is on again, off again. The only way I'm gonna catch fish is to actually go out and try to catch some. So I'm just gonna go ahead, head out, get everything ready, and start this journey. The best part about panfish, you want to keep it basic. So I just have a Bass Pro Shop Microlite Plus rod and reel set up here. Ultralight, 4-pound test mono. It cost me like $4 for a roll of 800 yards or so. A nice small bobber. You can use the round bobbers, but I prefer these skinnier ones. I just seem to get a lot more bites on it because the buoyancy doesn't have as much interaction with the surface, so it goes down immediately without the fish feeling it. Going down, you want a very, very small BB weight. That's all you really need to get this little cricket down. And of course, a small size 10 or 12 wire J hook that will help you catch smaller to larger panfish. And sometimes you can even bring in bass on these things without them bending out. Of course, start fishing and the rain gets harder, but we are already here. We're not going anywhere. And this creek is actually very low for what it usually is. Usually you actually have those stumps as well completely underwater, so just not a lot of rain it looks like this summer. There we go, first little bluegill of the day is on. It's actually a pretty good one, check that out. Not a whole lot of color to him. Beautiful nonetheless. One thing you might realize is better is this onboard quality. I used to use the Hero 5 all the time. but I hated the audio. So with the Hero 4, I can actually add a microphone, which makes this audio 10 times better. You don't hear that rustling noise. It's just a lot better package all around. And yet again, another goggle eye just like that. What's this? Those other ones, I might be mistaken. This is a goggle eye. I'm not really sure what those other fish were. But goggle eyes are kind of like a bass panfish hybrid, essentially. You can see it's got basically the mouth of a bass, and the body is somewhat of a bass, but the size of a panfish. Oh, we got a crappie. That's awesome. That's a good sized crappie as well. If I were keeping fish today, he'd definitely be going into the ice chest. While brimfish aren't that large, they can be an incredible amount of fun, especially with these ultralight setups like I use. This is 4-pound test, super light line, super light rod, and they feel a lot bigger than what they actually are. And sometimes even the leaves feel like fish. Generally speaking, wherever you find one panfish, you're usually going to find quite a few more. So keep casting back to that spot for as long as they're biting, because they're still going to be active and you know they're there just like that. As soon as it hit the water, this one took it right on in. Another great thing about pan fishing is that it teaches you to set the hook. Coming from saltwater speckled trout, I don't ever set the hook. So this gives me a little bit more practice, especially if I do go bass fishing in the future a little bit more. Just gives me that little bit of an extra edge. And the thing with panfish is I found the best way to set the hook is by lifting straight up. You don't want to lift to your left or your right or anything like that. Almost like ice fishing, just straight up in the air. Lift that rod straight up in the air, perfectly set in the corner of the mouth, as you can see after I get this guy stopped spinning. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and throw him back, but it's just that simple. I caught quite a few panfish here, so I want to go ahead and wrap it up for this particular spot. And I'm just going to be looking around for more brush piles. You can see all these cypress down here. They have roots that the sunfish and everything love to get under. So don't be afraid to leave a spot where, even though you're still catching fish, the bite's slowing down. Try out some new spots. Try to find some really good honey holes, because you just don't know. You might be fishing here for brim, but right over here could be some nice size crappie. Here we are at spot number 2. I'm going to go ahead and throw a cricket on here. I'm going to see what we can catch off this bridge since we depleted that other spot. There we go. Took a minute or two, but finally got one off of this new spot right here. And she swallowed it, unfortunately. We're just going to cut her loose and see. Hopefully she'll survive. Another trick I've learned over the years, it can be irritating having these hooks in a box. So get a little bobby pin and put them on here. It makes it so much easier to get one off and ready, rather than having to mess around in your tackle box, find them if they've fallen all over the place. And it keeps them all together, which is, again, a very nice touch. Again, this bridge is perfectly safe. No reason to worry. Whenever you cast out into areas with current, just make sure to slowly reel in that extra slack. That way you can really get a good hook set when you need to, and you don't have all the slack in the line you're pulling out first. You're putting pressure right on that hook. I just used 5 crickets without getting a bite, and the reason for that is my hook is too big. Unfortunately, it's the only size I have with me today since I just grabbed and went. But you want something a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller. And in this particular case, you want a smaller hook. When you see the bobber just kind of lightly going under the surface multiple times, that usually means they're just nibbling at the bait rather than actually sucking it into their mouth and feeding on it completely. So I would definitely recommend using a smaller hook, of course, for smaller fish. And whenever you see that bobber just kind of dangling lightly under the surface, just quick jerking movements rather than 2 splashes then down under, your hook is definitely too big. Here's some proof of what I was just talking about. These fish over here are definitely smaller than what we were catching earlier, and that's why I need a little bit smaller hook for them. That is going to be it. We are completely out of crickets, I would say the largest fish over here was still smaller than the smallest fish I caught over at that other spot. So we know that this one's not going to be great. Probably time to go check out a few more spots. That is going to be it for today. I do hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what was the most helpful tip to you when it came to brim fishing. And if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to share, like, subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.